Happy Friday here on Leza Live at KYC Radio. I'm Barry. I'm sitting for Leza, who is visiting that beautiful grandchild of hers, who is how old now? Like 2 months?
I don't know.
What? You're
Several
you
months.
sit next to her every day.
January, so February 3?
3 months.
Yeah.
No, not 3 months.
No.
2 months.
Born in January.
February,
March.
It's
Okay,
2 months. 2 months.
I don't know
Our
math.
grandbaby is
10
4
weeks.
months. There. Thank you, Drew. How you doing, Drew?
Fine. How are you?
Thanks for chiming in.
Yeah. Well, I figured that, she told me, so it's 10 weeks.
It's 10 weeks. There you go.
See, that's why he
So
knows.
she's gone. After 3 years, she gets a couple days off.
3? No, dude. She got a whole month off. You remember that?
I love that one. Drew, how you doing over there?
Wonderful. Nice to see you again, Barry.
Hey, likewise. Hey, this weather is absolutely perfect.
It is fantastic.
Are we like in June already? Is that how it works?
Well, we were in fall, and now we're into summer.
Yeah,
There
I
was
know.
absolutely nothing in between.
Absolutely nothing.
I mean,
I heard it's going to cool off a little bit, though. Is it cooling off, or what's going
well,
on?
what you heard is correct. I mean, today, just to give you an idea, our high's going to be about 86. And our low's going to be, has come up to 51. But then tomorrow, 82. And then Sunday, 79. And we're going to be back into the 70s next week. So
Okay.
things are, but we're still 15 to like 15 degrees above our norm.
It makes July kind of scary, thinking about it.
Well, you know what? Everything's been pushed back, so who knows what's going to happen. And I still think that before not too long, we're going to get a little bit of rain.
I hope so.
That's just my thought.
I hope so. I'll take some rain.
This pressure system, when it goes away, is going to change, and we'll see what happens.
Okay, so Matt, I'm going to ask you a question. See if you were paying attention yesterday.
I wasn't.
That's
easy.
At least he's honest.
Well, I missed the show.
I answered it.
missed the show yesterday.
Okay.
I wanted to listen to it because Ken Lane was on.
He was.
Drew, what did Ken say about planting? Is it too early to start planting, or
Oh, absolutely.
really?
Not
Go ahead.
the rule of thumb here in
I
Prescott
know.
or in Yavapai is do not plant anything before Mother's Day.
Okay.
And that's what he said, and they could get a frost. You just never know. So
Okay.
just so you know, when I first came up here, I planted,
Oh.
and I lost all my plants.
I've done, and Ken loves that. Ken loves that because then you got to go back to Waters Nursery and buy your second round of plants.
I drive by Waters at least twice a day,
Oh, yeah,
okay? Because I'm off of Iron Springs,
Right.
so I'm driving by there. And, I will say this. They're plants because I don't know if you know, they grow them here.
Okay.
So if you get the plants from the valley, they come up here, and because of the lack of oxygen, that's why the plants die when you get them in the stores, because they're shipped up from other areas.
I did not know
found that out from Ken.
Oh, there you
So
go.
do you want to buy 2 plants, or do you just want to get one from him that works? And if you use their mulch and their system, hey man, he guarantees it. So,
I just don't want someone to give me plants. I don't want to buy any plants.
well, okay, all right, we'll give you a plant.
But I
then.
do agree that his fertilizer and stuff like that is perfect for this climate.
Yeah, and
it's
especially-
designed for this altitude and everything. So Ken, I'm sorry I missed the show yesterday, but we'll be in soon to see you to get the rooftop garden at Ogato's all rolling.
I was going to say, you should have come in and been like, is it free plant for us
It
Thursday?
should have been. I know exactly.
See,
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen. So you two and everybody that's listening is in for a real treat today
Okay.
because I met our guest Hank Jones about a month or so ago, and you sent me an email in 2024.
Yeah, I remember that.
You sent me an email in 2024. He was having dinner at Torme, and Hank has a really fascinating story. If you are into entertainment, if you're into the 60s and 70s, if you remember that time or lived through it. Nope. I know, exactly. You know.
We call it the Stone Age.
Yeah.
Stone Age.
But Hank Jones is an actor, singer, genealogist, writer, author, and I found this to be a really interesting and fascinating person. The most interesting man in the room by far today.
Wow, that's a bold statement,
I
Barry,
know.
because you're pretty interesting.
Well, I'm not that interesting.
I want to get this on tape. This is
Yeah,
good
yeah.
stuff.
Oh, we'll send you the archive.
But we sat down a few times, and so we're going to talk with Hank Jones here in a little bit about his career in early Hollywood or mid Hollywood. What'd you say? Was it early? What was that?
Yeah, it was
Early?
late Hollywood.
Late Hollywood.
Yeah, I was in the tail end of what they called old Hollywood, really,
Okay.
I guess.
All right, we're going to get into that in a little bit. Today, in history, almost nothing happened. Literally almost nothing happened, except, you know what the number one song was on this day in Oh my gosh, I forgot it now. Hold on here. 65. Number one. This is your era.
Yeah.
1965, the number one song.
The,
Drew, what do you think?
The Beatles have already arrived.
Yeah.
So,
The Supremes.
ah,
Stop in the Name of Love.
Wow.
oh, very
That was the
good.
number one song on this day in 1965. Do you know all four of the singers? They're in the Supremes.
Well, Diana Ross.
Mhm.
Uh,
Drew, you gonna help us out here?
I just remembered Diana Ross.
I know.
But you know what's funny is I remember that when
Florence Ballard.
their song came out,
Correct.
The Dance. Yep.
Florence Ballard. And there were actually only three, not four.
There-
That was a trick question.
She dropped out,
Uh-huh.
and
And then who was the third one?
Can't-
Mary Wilson.
Mary Wilson. Right.
Mary Wilson.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Good
so that
group.
was. And today is also, since in honor of El Gato Azul,
Okay.
it's actually National Paella Day.
Hey.
Huh.
Ooh,
Do you
wonderful.
like paella?
Sure.
Had I known it was Paella Day, I would have brought paella, but I didn't know that till this morning.
I mean, I'm good with cookies and biscotti.
Oh, good.
Which,
And,
thank
uh,
you.
And you didn't have to bring anything.
We got some famous birthdays, some not so famous birthdays. Mariah Carey. Who else? What film director was born today?
I have no clue.
Come on,
Uh,
Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it Tarantino?
Tarantino. Fergie was born today in 90. I don't know. She's 51. Halle Berry. Those are some of the ones.
Hmm.
And the word of the day. I started this on another show.
Okay.
The word of the day to help us become more. And here's funny thing is, to make ourselves more intelligent. Okay, so I've started this word of the day thing.
Sorry, that ship.
But the gentleman
Passed a
sitting
long time
across
ago
from
for
me
me.
was a Jeopardy champion 3 times
3 times. Yep.
in 1980.
It'd be 1986.
How do you get to be? All right, we're gonna.
Is there anything you haven't done, Hank?
No, there's not. Trust me, this is why this is so fascinating.
I've gone through an entire 85 years fooling them.
85, yeah, just amazing. So, anyways, and this weekend we got some stuff going on. We got the farmers market tomorrow at 9:30. Tonight we've got the Fourth Friday Art Walk taking place downtown. Starts at 5 o'clock.
Yep.
16 different galleries. Just walk around. You got Van Gogh's Ear, Ian Russell Art Gallery, Yavapai College, Mountain Artists Guild, the Fairweather Social Club, the Art Hive, which if you haven't been there on North Cortez in the NoCo district is a great space. And there's a few others. That starts at 5 o'clock till 9. Just walk around downtown and meet the people that are making incredible things in our community that you can purchase probably.
Right.
You can purchase.
And
So-
then you know what else is tonight, right?
No.
Friend of the show, Mr. Santos's comedy show
Oh,
at the
yeah.
Elks.
Oh, that's
Starts
right.
at 7.
I forgot
Doors
about
open at
that.
6. Yep.
Is it Clint Black tonight or tomorrow at Tim's?
I think that's tomorrow, isn't it?
I believe it's
It's
tomorrow.
probably Saturday night. Tomorrow night's So what time is Santa's? Give him a plug.
They start at 6. Doors open at 6. Show starts at 7. I think there's still tickets available. I'm pretty sure.
Is it upstairs or downstairs?
Upstairs, Crystal Hall. Yep.
Okay. How much are tickets?
I don't know.
Are they free?
Sure. Why not?
Are they free?
Now Santos is not going to like that.
Put
Or
on
Liz.
Matt's tab.
Put it on Liz's tab.
Drew, you got anything going on for the weekend?
I'm just headed down south, unfortunately, but visiting some my buddy who bought a place down in Saddlebrook,
Saddlebrook. Where exactly is
just
Saddlebrook?
Oro Valley,
Okay.
down that way. So I'm visiting him, going to do some riding and
Okay.
have some fun, that kind of stuff. But I want to let you know, I looked up Hank Jones here. He's man, there's a lot of scrolling.
This is
I mean,
this is gonna be a fun interview. That's
very-
why he's here for the whole time.
Yeah.
So-
Now I have a question
Yes.
for him. Does he really have 12 kids?
Did what?
Do you have 12 kids?
No.
No.
Okay, must be a different Hank Jones here.
There are a lot of Hank Joneses.
There's
out
a lot of
there.
Hank Joneses. The one that we're talking one is the one right here across from.
Yeah, I know. I'm just looking. I looked up Hank Jones, and there, it says he has 12 kids. I wanted to say, oh my God. I mean, besides all the other stuff he does, he's a stud.
You have to be fairly interesting when someone does a documentary about your life. And that's coming out. When is that documentary coming out?
The trailer's up on YouTube. It should be out probably in about 6 weeks. What they're doing is they're submitting to film festivals around the world, really. And it's most documentaries are pretty heavy stuff. This is pretty lightweight stuff.
I watched it. It's really good. It's fun. It's really
Thank you.
enjoyable. It's Beyond Godolphin.
Beyond Godolphin,
Godolphin.
the Hank Jones story.
Okay.
And Godolphin is I was in Walt Disney's last movie he personally produced, and that was the setting of the college name that I ran track for in Godolphin U.
Okay.
And that's where that came from.
Well, let's get started here a little bit and sit down with Hank Jones and talk a little bit. So
You want to do it after a break?
we're gonna take a break right now.
Sure.
All right, we're going to take a break. In a few minutes, we're going to come back with Hank Jones. We're going to hear about a lot of stories and people he rubbed elbows with and films and screens and everything else and in between and books and all that good stuff. We'll be back right here in a few moments on Leza Live here on KYCA. Welcome back to Leza Live. I'm Barry, sitting in for the lovely Leela. Leela. She'll kill me for that one.
Leela? That's a new one. I haven't heard that
I
one.
have biscotti mouth right now. I'm eating. We're eating biscotti, and you gave me the point. I was gonna say you gave me the finger, but Drew pointed at me, and I'm like, oh, I'm still eating. I'm still chewing.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
Anyways.
Lisa's not listening anyways.
I know she never does. She never does. Well, our guest today is Hank Jones, and welcome.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Like I said, I've just really enjoyed learning about you, and you just have a really interesting. You've had a really interesting life.
You don't think about it when it's happening. It ends up that way, I guess. Yeah. It's been fun.
So you're originally from California.
Yep.
And as a young kid, if I recall, you did like productions and acting and wrote plays, and your parents bought you a little.
They bought me first of all, a Webcore tape recorder. And that was fun. I did radio shows with my friends. You know, never broadcast anywhere, but it was fun to do. And then I got a 16 millimeter camera. We made movies sort of like Ron Howard was doing better when he was younger.
Yeah.
And we had we made Pirates Gold, the pirate movie, made Secret of the Old Mill by the Hardy Boys. And in fact, in the documentary they're doing, they show extras of it. I laughed like hell at them, but it was sure fun.
That's a great childhood. And so then you went to college.
Went to Stanford.
You went to Stanford, and then you had a band.
And I did my senior project with a guy named Ted Koppel. I don't know whatever happened to Ted.
Oh, are you kidding me?
No.
You did your senior project.
He was a house husband at the time, and this was just before he really, took off on ABC and did stuff like that. But and he had great hair.
So tell me, let's start with your Hank Jones and the White Bucks. Let's start with that.
That was a rock and roll group we put together in high school with my friend Dean Kay. I've known Dean for 85 years too. We were in the same bassinet together. Our folks were friends, and continued on with him as a singing partner, writing partner. Talk about that later.
Oh yeah.
And anyway, we got pretty big in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, in the late 1950s, and played a lot of hops in college, things like that. And then every summer, Dean went to San Jose State, I went to Stanford. We would go to Hollywood to try to peddle our songs and peddle our songs. We made a lot of demo records. And we did that for 4 years on our own. And luckily, on the fourth year, it was a matter of serendipity, really. We had a interview set up at RCA Victor Records. The guy named Neely Plum, he ended up being famous also as the father of Eve Plum on the Brady Bunch.
Oh my gosh.
He was the head of A&R. He had to leave for an appointment. He couldn't. We drove driven all the way down from the Bay Area to see him to peddle our songs, and he was gone on another appointment. So his secretary Pat was very nice to us. He said, "Listen, just as a quirk, the head of RCA itself, Steve Scholes, RCA A&R was there. Let me see if I can get you in to see Steve." So we went to see Steve. So in a sense, we went to the boss over the low grade down the scale. He played our demos and he said, "Yep, I want to sign you." And Steve was the guy that stole Elvis Presley from Sam Phillips at Sun Records and brought him into RCA. And we signed. And it's funny how memories come back. I'll never forget the day we really signed our contracts at RCA in Hollywood. We signed the contract, with our hands and pen, the whole shot. And the door was open to the office. And down the hall came this ethereal sound, this beautiful sound of a harmonica, full orchestra, and a full chorus singing this, whatever they were recording. And it just, it was the most amazing, beautiful thing I ever heard. As we're signing, it's like it was an omen. And we found out it was Henry Mancini recording Moon River for the very first time.
Oh my gosh.
And we were there right at the beginning. And we thought that, well, maybe some good luck there.
There you go.
So we were on RCA, and that was fun. That was fun because we recorded with a group called the Wrecking Crew, which were the Hollywood studio musicians that worked on everything from the Beach Boys to Streisand to Sinatra to everything. And they did all the background of the Hank and Dean records, Hank Jones and Dean Kaye. And that was great. And I think the only thing I miss about show business, Barry, I really miss it, is recording live. Because we didn't, well, let's bring in a flute today, or let's bring in the clarinet today. No, we had the entire orchestra there, strings the whole shot.
Oh, wow.
And it was just the missing ingredient in those recordings that you didn't have later on was adrenaline, because nobody wanted to screw up in front of everybody else.
Right.
And that was really a high. That was
gosh.
much fun. We did an album, did a bunch of singles. We went back to Philly to do the Dick Clark show on American Bandstand.
And then you were on the Tennessee Ernie Ford show.
Yeah, they had open auditions for that. And Ernie didn't want to leave his kids, raise his kids in Hollywood. So we were in San Francisco. I was still going to Stanford. Dean was still going to San Jose State. And they had 1,000 people audition, and son of a gun, we got it. And we got the gig for 2 years, 5 days a week. We on a network show all across America and Canada. And I would say we learned while America
And this
watched.
is live.
This is live.
This is
well,
live.
live on tape. But I think
yeah.
we only stopped one time in 2 years when Ernie had a frog in his throat or something. But and it was a great education. And
So who were some of the guys that came across through the door while you were there?
Oh, God. We had people from movies like Peter Lorre, the character actor that played the heavy. We had Andy Devine. I met Andy's great niece here, Candace. Who's Yeah, she's great. Andy was a wonderful guy. And jazz people, George Shearing. We had Dizzy Gillespie. We had all kinds of people. Anybody in San Francisco to do a job would stop by and do the Ford show with us.
Right.
And Ernie Ford was the best first boss anybody could have ever had in their lives in show business. He was genuinely a nice guy, and he was so big. It's kind of sad to me today that most people don't remember Tennessee Ernie Ford, but he was huge. I know he was huge because I used to drive with him once in a while to do a remote filming someplace, and people would pull alongside his car and look and see it was Ernie driving the car next to him and almost kill us by swerving their car into us. And he always had to sit in the back booth of a restaurant facing the wall when he would go out with him, because everybody would just want to socialize. And get
I have to do that too.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, I know.
Me and Matt.
Oh, every day. I
I've
can't
seen
go
you
anywhere.
Shirley's. It's almost embarrassing.
Yeah. So you're doing the Tennessee Ernie Ford
and
show,
recording.
and then you're
Dean Kaye got drafted
you got drafted.
out of the blue, and I was.
And why didn't you get drafted?
Well, I was a punk. No, that's not true. I was underweight for my height, and in hindsight,
You know what that's like, don't you, Matt?
Yes, I am very underweight for my height.
Yeah.
it's very obvious to me. Too.
Yeah. See, Hank gets it.
But anyway, that's the reason I didn't get drafted and Dean did. I never worry about Dean because he continued his songwriting, and he wrote a little thing called "That's Life" for Frank Sinatra. That's a story about.
Are you listening to this, Drew?
It's amazing.
If you want
know.
a quick
I'm
story
really enjoying
about
it,
That's
too.
Life.
Sure, go ahead. Give us a quick story about That's Life.
Okay. Sinatra heard somebody else, I think it was O.C. Smith, sing it on the radio when he was driving. So I want to do that song. So he got to do the song at the Dean was at the session. And the song goes at the end, if you remember, I'm going to roll up in a big ball and die. And it ends. Okay, but there's one little thing at the end of the song. It's my. And what happened was the young A&R man, Jimmy Bowen, it was his first big date with anybody, but by God, it was Sinatra. Sinatra did one take of the song, and Jimmy Bowen told him, Frank, I wish you could put a few more, I'll say the word, be a little ballsier when you sing this song, will you? And to have someone have the audacity to tell Frank Sinatra to do it one more time, let alone that he wanted it more ballsy, nobody ever had done that. So if you listen to the final hit record, the guy goes, I'm going to roll up in a big ball and die. And Sinatra looked at the recording booth where the producer, Jimmy Bowen, was, and looked right at him and said, my. And that's why the my came in.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It wasn't in the original song.
Okay, can you just share real quickly the Tony Bennett story you told me about?
In San Francisco, when we were doing the Ford show, just before we did the Ford show, our manager, George Burke, happened to also get talent for the Fairmont Hotel, a big hotel in San Francisco. And on a night, George wanted to take Hank and Dean, us, to see the act who was there. It was Tony Bennett. And that night, we were sitting at the Fairmont watching Tony Bennett, and he was fantastic. And he said he's going to introduce a new song that nobody had ever heard before. And it was a song something about little cable cars climbing halfway to the stars and how the morning fog would chill the air and all this kind of stuff. I left my heart in San Francisco. So he sings it. Nice applause. He comes over to our table, and there were about 6 people at our table. And Tony Bennett asked everybody around the table what we thought of the new song nobody else had heard before. And they went around, and everybody loved it. And he got to me. And I don't know what I did this, but I said, Tony, I told him, Tony, I looked him right in the eye. I said, I think it's really a pretty song. But honestly, I think it's really too localized a subject to ever be a big hit. So this is sort of a 2-part story. 6 months later, I'm going to do American Bandstand with my singing partner, Dean, in Philly with Dick Clark. We're walking into the studio up the stairs. From the top of the stairs, here comes Tony Bennett down the other way. And he saw me, and he looked at me, and he pointed his finger at me. And I can't do this because this is radio, but
right.
he just went,
I love that story.
Boy, I can pick him.
So how did you go from Tennessee Ernie Ford how did you get into acting? How did that happen?
Ernie Ford, Dean got drafted. Ernie Ford's agent was Fred McMurray's agent. And
My Three Sons.
My Three Sons. And so that was my connected to get in the door to, I didn't even have to audition. They just, because of the friendship with Ernie and Fred McMurray and the agent, I just got a spot on My Three Sons, and they just kept asking me back. And it was a lovely show. We had Fred McMurray, of course, and he was a very quiet man, a nice man. I remember mostly just him sitting in the corner smoking his pipe. And but he had a great deal. He had a deal that later other people tried to get as stars. He only had to work 2 months a year for every show that season. They filmed every one of his scenes all at once.
No way.
Yeah. And then the other actors, if they were in a scene with McMurray, which I was once in a while, they'd do the scene like you normally would. But the other actors would then have to come in all the rest of the year and feed their lines back and forth to the script girls saying Fred McMurray's lines.
Oh my gosh.
which was hard because he was so laid back that the script girl sometimes was a little bit more dynamic in her delivery of Frederick Murray's lines, and so when you saw it on film, it didn't balance right. It wasn't like he was really talking to you. So
Right.
it was an interesting challenge. But I love Maestro because I also got to work with the two uncles on the show. They weren't at the same time. William Demarest, who had been in all kinds of movies, and Bill Frawley, who used to be Fred Mertz in I Love Lucy.
Oh yes, of course.
And he was wonderful. He was kind of frail. One of the crew had to walk him into to put him where he had to say his lines. But he was and he was full of the devil. No starlet's backside was safe from a little friendly Frawley pinch.
Well, on that note, we're going to take a short break here. We'll be back in a few more minutes with my guest, Hank Jones, here on Leza Live on KYCA. Welcome back to Leza. I'm Barry, sitting here with Hank Jones, talking about Hollywood in the 60s, 70s, and all the interesting people he shared the screen, stage, and studios with during that time. It's really just a fact. When we spoke before, you said it was really that time when a handshake meant something.
Yep. I think that sounds like Pollyanna, but it really was pretty true.
Yeah.
There were always guys who were a little too sharp, a little too slick, but most people were just awfully nice.
Just like us.
That's right.
Just like us. We were just talking about how
Sure.
nice we were before there in the break. So I want to talk about a little bit, the way we kind of connected was through Torme, Mel Torme.
Right.
And I love this story that you have about the song that you wrote that was not eventually, but was recorded by Mel Torme,
Right.
called Midnight Swinger.
Yeah, all through my time as a singer and an actor too, I kept writing music. And Dean did, my ex-partner Dean did better than that with That's Life. You can't beat that.
Yeah.
But I wrote a country song one time called Midnight Swinger. How's the world's greatest lover tonight? It was a put on, really.
I've listened to it several times, by the way.
Yeah,
We're going to do it for you eventually.
oh, really?
On Sunday night, we're going to learn it. Yeah.
That's good. That's
I'll let you know. We'll debut
Thank
it.
you. It endures. That's
Yeah.
nice. But anyway, I wrote it for Roger Miller, who was very hot at the time, did King of the Road, a wonderful, clever lyricist and great singer. Not vocally great, but just for what he did, he was sensational. Anyway, I wrote it for Roger Miller. And I took it into my publisher, High Cantor. High Cantor was the man, by the
High
way.
Cantor, that's a great name.
Oh, yes. High was a good guy. He'd been in the business since the 20s. High Cantor was the publisher who at the time was at MGM Music and had told MGM he would quit his job if they cut Over the Rainbow from Wizard of Oz, which they wanted to do.
Oh, really?
Because it dragged the movie, they thought, the mayor and everybody thought. And High said, no, if you cut this song, I'm out of here.
Oh, wow.
And they left it in, and nobody ever heard it again.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, High. This is, I think, what's kind of different about the music business today. People categorize the songs, and they leave them in their cubbyhole.
Right.
I wrote Midnight Swinger as a country song, but High Cantor heard it, liked the lyric, liked the feel, and said, Mel Torme is recording across the street tomorrow morning at the Capitol Tower. He needs one more song. Let me take this over to him. And they played it for Mel.
Talk about serendipity.
Yeah, exactly. Timing, serendipity. Mel heard it, and he said, that's good song. I think I can make a big band number out of this.
And this is a perfect song for the 60s. And that time that you wrote this and he recorded, because it has that vibe, it has that feel.
And one of the lines is, how's the world's greatest lover tonight? You watch Johnny Carson till you turn out the light. I mean, it's very time. Playboy playmates are in it, all kinds. Anyway, it's very of its time. So he did it that way, totally a reverse of how I wrote it. I didn't. When I heard it for the first time, I said, "Holy smokes!" What? And then I didn't like it at first.
Oh, really?
And then I said, "Oh my God!" And of course it's Torme,
right?
And probably the most talented singer in so many ways there's ever been. So that's endured, and I still get my ASCAP checks from it. I just got one from Malta, 16 cents.
There you go. Hey.
They endure.
That's hysterical.
But it's
so that's that. I mean, that just having that alone would be enough, I think, to make me happy, make my career. Have Mel Torme.
Well, it was an honor. It really was an honor.
Yeah.
And then the other songs I've written now are still. I had a song that was on a show called Tracker on CBS. It's a big show just last month. And then one's on another. Your trunk of songs never grow old if you keep pitching them. And of course, it's very dated. They're very dated. They're of their time. But there are TV shows and movies set in that era. I had one in a Glenn Close movie last year that was set in the 60s.
Oh, wow.
And so sometimes in the background, sometimes, but it's a nice feeling to know that your work keeps going.
I want to talk a little bit about, not a little bit, I want to talk about your television and film career, but I want to, if you'll share the story about your mentor, Stan Laurel.
One day on the Ford show, as a bit, in between songs, Ernie asked us on the air, the cast, who would you like to spend an hour in history with? And the announcer said Lincoln. And the girl vocalist said Jesus. And I said Stan Laurel.
Of Laurel and Hardy.
Yes, I always loved Laurel and Hardy, especially the short movies they made for Hal Roach. And so it aired. And about a month after it aired, I got a phone call at my home in Toluca Lake. And the voice said, hello, is Hank Jones there? I said, this is Hank Jones speaking. This is Stan Laurel calling. Lincoln and Jesus were unavailable. And we connected, and I was with him at his home about, I guess 5 weeks before he passed away. And he was a wonderful man. He was the brains behind Laurel and Hardy. I mean, even though he played kind of an innocent,
right?
He was the brains. He was the one that could handle the editing, the script. I mean, he was the guy. But anyway, as I was leaving that day from his home, he said, Hank, the next time you see me, I'll have me hat on. I didn't know what that meant, but I said, okay, Stan, I'll see you. And then 4 weeks later, he was gone. So I'm watching a Laurel and Hardy movie about a month later. And in the movie, they were both going to be hung. And Hardy asked Stan in the movie, well, how will I know you when we get to heaven? And Stan said, I'll have me hat on.
That's a great story.
And I'm sorry, I'm tearing up. He was a wonderful person. I was so, and then at his funeral, at his services, I was there, and Dick Van Dyke gave a wonderful eulogy. And they played the cuckoo song in the funeral. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. And I'm sitting next to this little, small, bald-headed man with a very sad face. And I figured, well, he must have known Stan pretty well. And services ended, and we went outside. And the little fellow came up to me, and he said, do you happen to know what time it is? And I told him the time, and we started to talk. And only then did I recognize him and realize that I had been sitting next to Buster Keaton at Stan Laurel's funeral. And that's something I'll tell my grandchildren about someday.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Just amazing. Well, we're going to take a short break here. We'll be back in a few moments on Leza Live to continue our conversation with Hank Jones. Welcome back to Leza Live. I'm Barry here on KYCA 103.5 FM and 1490 AM. What?
You're getting it.
Gotta
You're
give
getting
me,
it.
You gotta give me a little more notice on the coming back in thing. Someone does. The lack of
Well,
help.
stop throwing
the
your
lack
water
of
around.
help around here.
Jeez, Barry. I'll shoot up a flare next time.
Anyways, we're here talking with Hank Jones about your fascinating, interesting career that you've had that spans how long? You started and when?
I started recording with Hank Jones and the White Bucks in high school in '56, and I lasted until about 1990. And I went and my other passion, genealogy, doing seminars and writing books, and did that.
We may have to have you back to talk about genealogy because I don't know if we're going to get to that today. But I love that. It just, anyways, I'm going to stop fawning over you.
Sure. Yeah. Again, I'm taking this personally.
Yeah, exactly. So let's talk about some of the things. Some of the shows you've been in that television-wise, Patty Duke Show.
Right.
My Three Sons.
Yeah.
Petticoat Junction.
Yeah.
Mork and Mindy.
Yeah, I did the pilot with Robin and survived.
So talk about that a little bit.
Well, I've only worked with two geniuses, what I think are geniuses, really top-notch brains in my life. One was Peter Ustinov in Blackbeard's Ghost with Walt Disney, and the other was Robin. He had so many choices. He could do anything. The riffs. He was a musician who was a comic. And the pilot of Mork and Mindy was astounding because he did the dress rehearsal in a Serbian dialect without telling anybody for no reason, just because he felt like it. I mean, just off the wall stuff. and the idea, I work with Robin, and then later that same month with Tim Conway, and the two guys.
Oh my gosh!
But what I'm saying is they both are that. You never knew what was going to happen. And
Right.
Conway was he would break the crew up, and so the crew would be laughing. You couldn't get any takes done because it was.
So what did you do with Tim Conway?
I did a movie called The Shaggy DA.
Oh, yeah,
I
sure.
did,
Oh,
I
my
did
gosh.
I did 8 movies at Disney.
I saw that in the drive-in theater, I think, in the back of a station wagon with my brothers and sisters.
Really?
Oh yeah, all the Disney films were.
Well, let me tell you, Sonny. I'm glad you were there. Dad. Yeah, Herbie. Well, Herbie Rides Again was fun too. I played 2 parts in that. One was a drag race driver. I remember there was a lot of close-ups, and then they put a whole bunch of makeup on me, and I was then a surfer surfing with Herbie. And Bill Walsh, producer, ran into him at a restaurant afterwards. He said, "Hank," he said, "we had to give you 2 parts. You wanted a big hit," which I taped that one too.
Now, who was in it? Was that the one with Susan Plachette and?
Suzanne was in Shaggy DA and Blackbeard's Ghost, and Herbie was Stephanie Powers.
Okay.
And Ken Berry. And Dean Jones was in a bunch of stuff. I loved working at Disney. I didn't have, after Blackbeard's Ghost, I didn't have to audition. They just called me up.
So you did 8. How many shows? How many films?
Eight at Disney.
Okay, so you did Shaggy DA.
I started off with Blackbeard's Ghost. Walt's last.
Oh, that was the first one.
That was the first.
Oh, wow.
Walt cast me himself in that, and he was on the set 4 days before he died, and. I'll never forget the day he passed away. I went to the gate, and the guard was there with tears running down his face. And I said, "What's wrong?" And he said, "I don't think you're working today, Hank. Walt just died." And it was just earthquake.
Yeah.
And whenever you saw Walt, unfortunately, he always had a cigarette with him. And so that didn't help.
Right.
Yeah, but he would.
How would you describe him as a person?
The buck stopped with Walt,
Yeah.
and he got only time he supposedly. I never saw that when he got angry, but he got angry was when somebody called him Mr. Disney.
Oh, really?
He was Walt.
Okay.
Everybody called him Walt. And I got to know the 9 old men, they called them. They were the animators with Walt who did Snow White and Pinocchio and Fantasia. And they would stand in front of mirrors doing expressions of the characters they were drawing about. And the first day on the lot at Disney, I walked in, and the guard at the gate, I said, "Don't I know you?" And he said, "I'm sorry, Hank, we've never met." And then that was explained to me. It dawned on me, actually. I know why I knew him. He was they made his face one of the cartoon characters in Lady and the Tramp.
Oh, my gosh.
And that's how they got their characters sometime. It was like summer camp at Disney.
So besides Blackbeard, what was your favorite Disney film that you did? Do you have one?
I couldn't beat Blackbeard. Had a huge part in it, and this documentary is basically honoring Blackbeard's Ghost because it's the 60th anniversary of Walt's last movie he personally did. So I like that. I like Herbie was fun. I like Family Band, the one and only genuine original Family Band, a musical. It was last Hollywood
Family
musical.
Band?
Band.
Oh, Family
with
Band.
Walter Brennan and Buddy Ebsen and John Davis and Leslie Ann Warren, Richard Deacon. I love that because I wasn't a dancer, but they gave me and Wally Cox and Richard Deacon 2 hours with 2 days. Pardon me, Hank, wake up. 2 weeks with a choreographer to learn to dance, which was hell.
Did it work?
Yeah, it worked, but boy, I have great empathy and appreciation for dancers these days because boy, did your legs ache, and it really was hard. And in that film, we had also a young girl, a showgirl from Vegas that had never acted before, and she was in her first movie, and her name was Goldie Hawn. And also in that movie was Kurt Russell, who was only 16 at the time. And they met, and Goldie was about 20 then, and Kurt was 16, and they're still together.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I did another movie with Kurt. That one I wasn't supposed to be in. I got a call at 7 in the morning from the studio. I said, "Can you get here in a half hour? The guy we want didn't show up." It was the
The guy we
barefoot-
want didn't show up, so you get the part.
I got the part, and so the next it was a great part with Kurt and the monkey. I did a part. The monkey and I did takes back and forth. It was method.
You mentioned in the break also that your first film you did was actually with Elvis.
Yeah, a girl happy, just a small part. What can I say about Elvis? He was a sweet man, and this was '64, and he wasn't in trouble medically with what happened. I'll say this: I could tell even then. The saddest thing, nobody would say no to him.
Yeah.
There was nobody that would tell him the truth, it appeared. And it just, I think, was laying the groundwork with what happened.
Yeah.
And Dean and I and our friend Larry Ray wrote 6 songs for Girl Happy on spec because I had the script in advance. And we submitted them, and they were very well received until Colonel Tom Parker said, well, we'll think about it, but, we want Elvis to be named as co-writer of every song you've written. And we walked.
Oh.
And in hindsight, we're still saying
You walked on Elvis.
Should we have walked? but we had youthful principles.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Well, we're going to take a short break here. We'll be back in a few moments talking with Hank Jones here on Leza Live on KYCA. Here with the interesting, fascinating Hank Jones. We're going to talk to Ma here in a moment, and if anybody has a question, you can give us a call here at KYCA at 928-541-1016. If you have a question for Hank, again, it's 928-541-1016. And now we have Ma Hinch on the phone. Ma, you there?
Hi, good morning, number one son and other number one son.
Oh, I'm number one son. Oh, that's so nice. Thank you, Ma. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fine.
How's the weather?
Oh, it's beautiful here.
Yeah?
It's gorgeous, but we planted our garden, so oh well.
So, Ma, do you ever recall seeing Hank Jones or any of the films that we've been talking about?
Oh, I probably watched all of them.
You're the
I
one.
worship Disney. I wanted to work for them because I was an artist and everything, but I knew I'd never make it, and I didn't have a chance to try.
Well, Ma, what was the movie you saw last night, real quick?
Oh, my goodness. Matt, help. What is it?
Oh, Mom, you're not helping out here. It's Ready or Not 2, Here I Come.
Ready or Not, that's it.
Yeah.
ready or not.
And was it a knot or a?
Well, it was okay, but it was too long. The actresses did a fine job, but if I were them, I would have said, okay, this is enough blood and guts. I'm pooped,
Okay.
Yeah, it's a horror movie.
How much of it's amazing how much films have changed from the time that you, especially when we talk about Disney,
Yeah.
what you were doing then to what.
Well, CG and the whole show. Even a major change, I did all my stuff when they didn't have tapes, when you did a take and they were taping it. In other words, they didn't have that then. So
Right.
that is a big change for an actor because you could see what he had
But
done
that was
right
the
then.
good old days,
Yeah.
man. Those movies were awesome. I mean, all of them. They still are if the kids would watch them,
Well, and that's what she watches all the time. She's always watching.
Like Turner?
What's it? Yeah, Turner, TMC, Turner Movie
Yeah.
Classics. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So we were talking about Hank. We were talking about when you're flipping through the channels and you see something. How often does it happen when you go like, I was in that, or I didn't know I was in that?
It surprises you sometimes. It happens quite a bit. What's really weird is a couple of things. I'll watch myself in something that I had not seen since I did it, and I sometimes I surprise myself that I'm showing up. But basically, what happens, I'm looking at myself, but I don't know what I'm going to do next, and it's the weirdest feeling because it's me, but it isn't me, and it's just strange. The real sad thing with me at 85 now is that when I look at this stuff, honestly, I'm a last man standing, and so most everybody's gone, and it's a very sad, spooky feeling, but it's a happy feeling too because we remember every time you do a movie with a cast and you're on more than a day or you're on weeks, you become a family,
Right.
and that never leaves you.
Unless you're Fred McMurray, who's only there 2 months out of the year.
He had. Oh boy.
So let's talk about the documentary that's coming out, Beyond Godolphin.
It was made by the director Kevin McLean, who's a Disney animator, because he was a Disney buff all his life, and he loved Blackbeard's Ghost for some reason, which was my first movie, and Walt's last. And so it started out just being about Blackbeard, and then he found that I'd done this other stuff too, a lot of the shows and other movies, including Village of the Giants, once voted one of the 50 worst movies of all time, and just started compiling clips of stuff I'd done, and it's blossomed. It's an hour and 20 minutes long now. Holy crap!
Now, is it on YouTube or just snippets of it on YouTube?
No, just the trailer is on.
Trailer.
The trailer's on YouTube.
One of the things that's really fascinating about the documentary is I didn't know this. Prince and the Pauper.
Yes, that was a movie. It was an NBC special I did with Ringo Starr playing Ringo Starr's twin brother.
Now, how does Ringo Starr end up in Prince and the Pauper?
Well,
I can understand, but Ringo Starr.
They needed the property for him, and I think NBC may have had a contract with him they didn't know how to fill, other than musically. And they wanted to show him, and probably Ringo wanted to show his acting chops too. And so the makeup was so good you couldn't tell us apart. I would go to the commissary as Ringo and fool everybody while he stayed in his dressing room. It was essentially, I was a Beatle they shot it for a whole month. I was a Beatle for a month. And it was a great way to meet girls.
No, was he any good? Could he act?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And our leading lady was Carrie Fisher. And we had Art Carney and John Ritter. And one of my favorite people, the villain, was Vincent Price. And the first day on the set, I walked up to Vincent and said, Vincent, I got to tell you, in House of Wax, that 3 movie, you scared the hell out of me. And he said to me, oh, I hope so.
Well, on that, we're going to have to conclude this meeting, this interesting conversation with you. Thanks so much for joining me, Hank. I really appreciate it. Leza Live here, Barry. What am I doing right now? I have no idea.
I have no clue what you're doing either.
Leza lost
You're
about Dandos
not
will be back
Leza.
on Monday. I know I'm Barry. We'll see you next week on Leza Live. Thanks so much for joining. Thanks again, Hank.
Sure. Thanks for asking me.
Drew, have a great weekend.
You got it, Barry. Appreciate all the things you do for us here.
And Matt, be careful on that bike.
Okay. Bye, Mom.
Bye, Mom.
She's
Bye,
gone.
Mom.
Oh, she's gone.
All right, we'll see you next week on Leza Live.